Hello all. So this is going to be my first entry onto my YouTube War Thunder series if I plan to continue it. And today we are going to be reviewing the F-20A Tiger Shark. Now I got this very recently when I was about level 20-ish. And what I have learned is you can play it like a very beefed up F5. Um, F5, I haven't really played it a whole lot, but I can imagine. But with the test driving, and I know that isn't equivalent to any sort of real experience, um, but I believe the F-20 is a pretty good option if you don't want to get the F-18. And though the F-18 does have more upsides to the F-20 because as you can see, it can carry a whole lot more stuff. It has a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, about 14 hard points. Let me just count that more thoroughly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13 hard points compared to the F-20's measly little, second, I'm sorry. I'm fumbling because my mouse keeps disconnecting, but compared to the measly little, about front loadout I have here. No, I'm doing all the math completely wrong. I'm so sorry. Because this is just total hard points in general. With all the hard points filled out like something, like this loadout, you have about 7 total hard points, with the F-18 having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total hard points. The F-18 is also way more popular, twin engine, good agility, as it has a Cobra button, or AOA override. And it is quite smooth to fly in the test drive, or test fly. But I like my F-20 for the pure reason that it can be almost everything at its tier of 12.3 in a dogfight, except something like an F-15. And since you're I mean, you'll only really fight an F-15 if you're fighting against Japan, and I think that's it, because Japan does indeed get it actually gets 2 F-15s, the F-15J and F-15JM, and now oh wait, and also Israel. I keep forgetting about Israel. It's not a very notable nation. So, yeah, I'll play around with it, and if it goes well, I'm still gonna record it regardless, but I just hope it goes at least a little bit well, because I'm broke and I need money. Another cool thing I find that the F-20 gets is that it gets a drag chute, and that's quite good, but in the next update, the F-18 will have a better reason to land on the airfield, as they're going to add little cables, which is quite a good realistic detail. Now, I got this over the F4 because, well, mostly because of agility. It may not get the Vulcan. That doesn't mean it can't be a beast in dogfights, especially if you're carrying nothing. So that's why having the jettison weapons key and jettison fuel tanks key is a very important thing to have. So yeah, I'm just gonna spawn on the airfield and take off here. Now, the reason I like to spawn on the airfield is because while all my enemies in blue essentially are going to be flying straight ahead, but I still come. And believe it or not, I believe this is just a singular engine from the F-18 or FA-18. I really don't know how to pronounce it. I just call it the F-18. Now, I used to carry at least 2 AIM-7s, but then I realized they really have a almost a 30% chance of hitting it. I pulled that number out of nowhere, so take my words with a grain of salt there. So yeah, I'm just gonna fly to the target. Probably just gonna cut this out, aren't I? The tactic I really like to employ with this is staying as low as possible. Now, I used to just go really high so I could sling off my M7s, and that did work until I realized if someone else fired a radar missile at me that I couldn't... I don't know how to notch. I don't know how to notch well. And so I find multipathing to be a much easier alternative. So I like to keep things low and fast. Despite the F4S having the Agile Eagle upgrade package, the F-20 is still way more maneuverable because it has redesigned wings and a redesigned air intake. And I think that's really it in terms of the redesigns for the F-20. But also, the history around the F-20 was really, really cool. So the F-20 was originally planned to be kind of an export. It's planned to be for exports, essentially. So if someone wanted a good, cheap, multi-role fighter, they could, as cheap as a fighter jet could be, but if someone wanted something cheap that can do multi-role, they would get something like an F-20 or F-16. Well, now they would get an F-16, because the F-16 would be the stock in the export market. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Now, I was originally grinding the Japan tree, but after grinding my, like, 5th large Japanese plane, and since large Japanese planes that aren't bombers don't really do well, and bombers don't perform too well anyways, I was like, okay, I'm tired of this, I want out, and so I got out. Oh, there's an 88, he's flaring, I'm just gonna let him pass by. Yeah, that was stupid, I shouldn't have done that. I'm being launched at and shit. Come on, dive. Crap. Yep, I'm real low. Oh no. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That was a stupid move. There is a way to play this. There is a way to play the F-20, and I don't think I've found out that way yet. Though I would consider myself to be good at 1v1 dogfights, dogfighting in 12.3 has kind of fallen out of the meta. And yeah, that's basically all I can say for the not the SU-30. What is going on? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I would give the F-20 a solid 8 out of 10. It's good, it's fast, it's maneuverable, has pretty good gun for what it is. Well, basically an F5, a single engine F5 that's been somewhat redesigned. Yeah. But the thing is, it can carry a whole lot for 12.3. So my main loadout is AIM 9s because one, they're more reliable than whatever that is. I really hate the AIM 7Fs, and I'm using them like front on too. Like that's how I'm using them. But unfortunately, they just don't like to go for their target. I don't know why. Like I'll have a hard lock on somebody, I'll fire, then the missile will just it'll go for anything but the target essentially. In ground RB, which I haven't taken it into ground RB, but I have seen some footage of it in ground RB. It doesn't get and I've also used it in custom battles for air-to-ground purposes. You will have to rely heavily on your AGM-65s and 2,000 pounders, maybe your 500 pound bombs, but I would not recommend using this as close air support. That would go to CAS King over here, A10C or A10A, or the premium one if you're feeling particularly fun. But instead, I would use this as combat air patrol. What you're doing in this, if you're taking it to ground RB, you're going to want to look for CAS targets. So, well, look for CAS planes, I should say. So, these close air support planes, you should be able to just find them for your team. And, yeah, that's basically it.